First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit. First opened in 2002, there's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Chicago Bears and the Detroit Lions. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. Then he breaks it all the way out to the 38-yard line. Great return. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. Jordan Howard. And he is met quickly quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair.
I know when I was a kid, I always got real excited when I saw those lateral-type runs. But the best backs that made it happen, they put a foot in the ground and just go. That didn't happen there. That play got swallowed up.
After the loss to start out, here's 2nd and 11.
Set! Blue Liney! Blue Liney!
Here's the first carry for Tariq Cohen. And he'll take this one for about 4 up to the 40.
Well, I think that's what they're going to need to do here in the first half. You've got to take some pressure off of this young quarterback, and no better way to do it than to establish the running game early.
A tough spot here on their opening drive. This is 3rd and 7.
Here we go. Blue Liney!
Looking to throw. Huber. And the Lions pressure too strong. Down he goes.
Well, how about that? A dime set on defense. 6 defensive backs. None of them blitz. They're just back there in coverage. Defensive lineman gets the sack.
That's where the O-line, they go to the sideline, they keep their helmets on so the cameras can't find them, right?
Yeah, the cameras can't find them, but I know one thing. The O-line coach will.
Give them 11 yards that time on the return, and the Lions will take over. On 1st and 10, Blankenship. Oh, he's going to take a shot right away. And lucky to get away with one there. That one nearly picked. 2nd down.
Well, that certainly looked like something that they discussed all week in practice getting ready for this one. Take the big shot right out of the gate. At worst, you'll open up the defense a little bit, loosen them up, and have them back on their heels.
Once again, they'll come up on the 26-yard line, 2nd and 10. Back to the air on 2nd down. Blankenship. And this is going to be caught. He won the fight for the football. A gain of 32 that time.
That's a big-time pitch and catch right there. And, partner, I remember the days when quarterbacks would try this. They were holding their breath. But nowadays, they're counting on their receiver to be just a little bit better than the defensive back when it's one-on-one and the ball's in the air like that.
So the big play gets him across midfield now for 1st and 10.
No. Check. Patriot! Patriot!
They'll run with a backup. This is Williams. And here now is spin. The 20. And yet again, touchdown, Detroit. A great play there. His first touchdown on the year. And the Lions are going to take a first-quarter lead. And on that long run, maybe the defense caught napping a little bit.
The concentration level may not have been there. I agree with you on that one because those types of plays, when they result like that, they're almost like big bolts of lightning, aren't they? Whoosh, and off he goes.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And he'll get it up to about the 26-yard line, just across the 25. Onto the field now come the Bears. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for. Is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was going to go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's 2 different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position, where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10.
No, Jack, Patriot! Hurry up, here we go! 319! 319!
They go play action here on first down. Flush to his right. Looking deep for Gabriel. So they took a shot on first down but couldn't connect. And this pass defense, they were sensational in the win last week, and they're looking good here so far in this first quarter.
You know, we often talk about how offenses get locked in, and that runs over multiple games where they're really, in that zone. Defenses can be the exact same way, and I think we're seeing an example of it here.
Ball on the 42 as they come up 2nd and 10.
3-19! 3-19! Watching now, Barney!
Throwing again on 2nd and 10. Huber. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Darius Slay with a pick. And his crew will take over at their own 45-yard line. He had a little bit of the turnover bug last week, 3 interceptions. Not an absolute disaster, but another one here. Do you start to get a little worried?
You worry about your team as a whole because you have to find a way to make those interceptions, quote-unquote, go away, and that means your defense. They've got to go out there on sudden change and at least hold people to field goals. And if that keeps happening, they lose confidence in the quarterback, and then no one plays well.
Pushing forward for 3 up to the 48.
What's the old expression, 3 yards in a cloud of dust? In this case, it's dust-covered pellets. It's no longer that old grass that we used to play on, right, and chew it up. Now we've got that artificial surface. You see the pellets go up. Still a nice play by the defense.
All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
To throw on 2nd down. Blankenship completing it here to Marvin Jones. And he is tackled inside the 40, not quite to the 35. First time they've hooked up here. Good for 17 and a first down. So from the 36 now, 1st and 10.
Lucky 56. Black 99 Philly. Here we go.
Now a play fake here on first down. He's got a man open. It's Cameron Meredith. And inside the 20 before he's brought down. Back-to-back gains of 17, and they are really on.
That crossing route is so effective when you hit it just right because you get a guy on the move, and then we see the end result there.
It's a nightmare for the defense. They got a guy with a full head of steam.
Not only does he catch it, but he picks up additional yardage after it.
On first down, Abdullah. And able to push his way forward here for a good little gain. 5 yards is the tally on first down. That brings up 2nd and 5.
A quick burst there, and he nicely bit off a pretty decent gain.
Detroit! Detroit!
Looking to throw on 2nd down. Blankenship, a dump off for Abdullah. And the stop will come inside the 5 at the 4. 9 yards on the play there, and it sets him up 1st and goal.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
Back to throw. Blankenship escaping the pressure right. And he will score. Touchdown, Lions. It's their quarterback. His 14th touchdown now on the year. And the Lions add on to their lead. And now it's blocked. Here's Prater now set to kick it away. That's fielded in the end zone. And a good effort on the return there. Gets him across the 30 to the 33-yard line. The Bears offense now getting ready to take over. And this is a unit that, to be frank, doesn't look like they've woken up yet. I mean, a punt and a turnover on their first 2 drives.
And I think the game's starting to take shape a little bit now. And I'm going to take it into the basketball world. When you're having trouble scoring or moving the ball in basketball, what do? Get it to their best player, right? Find a matchup, create it, exploit it, and try and move the football.
That's complete to the Memphis man, Anthony Miller. And they're going to have this across midfield and inside the 45. 23 yards on the play. On first down, Huber hits his target. It's Taylor Gabriel. And he gets this inside the 35-yard line. A nice pickup there of 11 yards, and it'll move the sticks. Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down.
Here we go now. Green.
Throwing on first down. Huber. Throw left side complete. That's Cohen. And he'll go down here right around the 23-yard line. 10 yards on the pickup there, and it'll be second down.
Everyone's got to be able to catch the football. Doesn't matter what position you play, but if you're on offense, be aware a ball may come your way.
So second in inches after that first down completion went just shy of the marker. Operating from the gun, Huber. He's going to dump that off to his running back, Cohen. Well, this is how you shape the thoughts of that interception on the last drive. You come out and start this one 4 for 4.
And watching him throw it around with that type of confidence reminds me of a guy I played with way back when who told me, I don't care if I throw 10 interceptions in a row. I'm going to stay confident, keep flinging it. I just figured there's something wrong with the football.
On first and 10, Huber. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he'll be a couple yards shy of the red zone here at the 20. They only got a yard out of that last completion, and that makes this second and 9. From the gun, Huber. Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off by Eric Rowe. And a terrific return as he'll take it up past the 35. He has been interception-prone here in his rookie season. How patient can they be with him?
That is the key question, isn't it? A lot of it depends on the head coach, what type of defense you have, and just a general understanding of the makeup of him. But the bottom line is you posed a great question. Are they at the stage where they've run out of patience and now they get to demand production? Or do you continue to stay with him this way?
And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. A good pickup there. 8 yards on the first down completion. Facing a 2nd and 2 after that last catch. Good for 8 yards. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he'll get it out to midfield. Looks like, yeah, they'll spot it right at midfield at the 50. It's a pickup of 6 and good enough to move the chains.
2nd and 2 is prime time for a little bit of a gamble, isn't it? Open up the playbook, go play action, toss that bad boy deep. But in this situation, go ahead and give it to your back. Let him pick up a first down. Keep the sticks moving.
From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And he will avoid the contact as he slides to a stop. Able to make something out of nothing there. 17 yards and a first down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the 3rd one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
So they'll come up 1st and 10 now from the 33. Now a give. This is Abdullah. Room here to run. Working his way for a gain of 7 to the 26.
Well, no matter how they phrase it, staying on schedule, staying ahead of the sticks, whatever you want to call it, 7 yards on first down, that fits the bill.
To throw on second down, Blankenship. Akeem Hicks able to get in there and drop him for a 2-yard loss. Defense went 3-4. They got some push from the inside.
And this is something in a 3-4 you don't normally get because the nose tackle who got the sack, he's usually responsible or ends up getting double-teamed and sometimes triple-teamed. How about him working his way back and putting the big guy on the ground?
So 3rd and 5, defensively expecting pass. They've got 6 DBs out there. Operating from the gun, Blankenship. He's got a man. It's Mitchell. And he takes this one in for a Lions touchdown. Malcolm Mitchell, his first touchdown on the year. And the Lions are able to grow their lead. And on that one, able to catch it, also able to have the wherewithal to take it in for the score.
And how about the phases of a successful catch and a completion of a play? Look the ball in, secure the catch, and then, of course, the run after the catch that ends up in the end zone.
Prater for the extra point, and that pushes the lead up to an even 20. That'll be taken in the end zone. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. Bears offense now gets set to head back onto the field. And 2 interceptions thrown here in this first half. You hear it, no matter the sport, they say the great athletes, they can kind of have a short-term memory, but that's easier said than done.
It is easier said than done, but I played with a guy who threw 2 interceptions in the first quarter of a really big game we were playing.
Johnny Unitas?
And no, not quite of that level and not of that age. But I remember
going for the age.
I remember looking over at him, and he was smiling. And I thought, what is he smiling about? It's because he had enough confidence in himself that that was a fluke. And he went out and played pretty well the rest of the day.
They'll begin the drive with Howard. And he went nowhere. He'll lose yardage back to the 29. That's going to go as a loss of a yard, and it'll be second down. You mentioned very early on the need to establish a running game for this young QB. They really haven't been able to do that, though, in the first half.
So that means what in halftime? Adjustments time, right? Figure out what they are, figure out the things that they really want to accomplish, and who to run behind. Which are your better blockers? Find those guys and get in that direction.
A loss of a yard there to start out. That leads to a 2nd and 11.
All right, here we go. 3-19.
Off play action. Huber. And for the 3rd time here in this half, it's intercepted. Darius Slay with a pick. And they'll start out with great field position at the 47-yard line in enemy territory.
Detroit!
Down carry here for Johnson. And he's got it across midfield and into Bear territory. In on the stop, the former Georgia Bulldog, Roquan Smith.
Well, we saw him there trying to get it to the outside, trying to get to the perimeter, but not a whole lot of room there. But there's got to be one positive to that. If you keep moving laterally, creases tend to develop as the game moves on, and they can run it back inside later.
They'll run again. This time it's Abdullah. And he's going to get this one down near the 45-yard line. Only a yard on the pickup, and now they've got a 3rd down and 8.
Leopards!
From the gun, Blankenship under pressure, and he will go down. Sacked back at the 47. 26.
Well, maybe that can give them a little bit of a pick-me-up, a little bit of a jolt. One of the few things has gone right defensively.
Because other than that, it's really been a first half to forget. They only punted twice in the win last week as he gets this one away. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. They are looking to make a bit of a 180. They are sputtering right now.
And frankly, I think it's time to call your playmakers together and say, all right, guys, we're going to lean on you through this patch. We need you to get us back on track and get us going in the right direction. So you're calling plays geared to them. Not necessarily what you look at your plays, oh, this hurts the defense. I want the ball in the hand.
Nowhere to go here. He lost the football. And the offense does cover this one, but back inside their own 5-yard line.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
This is Howard on second down. And he'll find a little space. He gets this up near the 10. He was able to pick up 6 yards there, so that leaves him with a 3rd and 13.
He was hoping to get to the edge, but they did a really nice job of forcing him back inside. That's excellent fundamental defensive football. Don't let them outside where they can really shred your defense.
Coming up to the line, and they will need to run another play here before the 2-minute warning. Throwing on 3rd and long. Huber finding Gabriel complete. And he's able to get this one all the way past the 30. And they convert on 3rd with a gain of 22. Line of scrimmage, the 31 now on 1st and 10. 2 minutes to play here in the first half. We'll come back to Ford Field after this.
Here we go now. 3-19. 3-19.
On 1st down, Huber. He'll rifle this one deep right side. So they took a shot on 1st down but couldn't connect.
This defense has been very disruptive early on as they force another one to go awry.
Seems to be the front and the back end. Pass rush, they've been able to get home, and they're taking the ball away in coverage as well.
I love how you put it together. The front and back working in sync, only way to play good defense.
Line of scrimmage, the 31 as they line up 2nd and 10.
All right, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
Throwing again, Huber. And this time he's got the hook up. It's complete. And they'll get it up just short of the 45 at the 44. 12 yards there as they keep this drive rolling. It's another 1st down. This offense finding its legs now. Here's another 1st and 10.
All right, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
Throwing on 1st down. Huber. And he couldn't hang on. Would have been their 4th pick of the game. Instead, 2nd down.
Well, he'd been targeted quite a bit on this drive, and finally I think the guys on the defensive side, they said no more. They slapped the double coverage on him, made it very tough for him to get the ball.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on 1st down.
Detroit! Hurry up, here we go. 3-19. 3-19. Watch him now, Barney.
To throw again. Huber. Over the middle, complete. It's Cohen. And he takes this one down almost all the way to the 30. That one goes for 24 yards. They're going to need to get up and set in a hurry. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to fight his way forward here for a modest gain. 5 yards on the carry. Good pickup on 1st down.
I call that play a success. A nice inside run sets up a very manageable 2nd down. A very solid gain on that play.
Eluding the pressure, and he will go down outside of the pocket for a sack. Tried to get away, but could not. Now whistles come in. We're going to get a timeout here by the offense, as the clock's going to stop with 47 seconds to go in half number one. An 8-play drive to this point. So here's play number 9 on 3rd and 7.
Here we go. Green 39. Green 39. Gone, gone. Gone, gone. All right, now, lucky 56. Lucky 56.
Operating from the gun, Huber. And his pass is intercepted for the 4th time today. Picked off at the 24. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. That's now his 2nd interception in as many weeks from his linebacker position.
And think about all the different techniques he has to employ in a passing situation. Is he spot dropping because it's zone? Is he picking up man-to-man? Is he having to run with a running back or a tight end? In any event, great eyes, head on a swivel, and excellent hands.
Yeah, versatility and showing those hands. And they're able to get this one across the 35. A gain of 11 to kick off the drive, and it's a quick first down.
Tremendous blocking by the interior of the offensive line. They didn't just gash him there. They blasted a gaping hole for him to gallop through. I think if he comes back to the huddle, he better be giving them a whole lot of credit and thanking them for that much space to rumble.
And he'll take this up over the 40 to about the 41. In on the stop that time, Terrell Basham.
They tried a quick hitter inside, but that one was swallowed up because what they're hoping, those big defensive linemen will take the bait and move laterally and open up a crease that they can run through. Didn't happen on that play.
Going for the deep ball. And this is incomplete with a clock showing just 3 seconds left. He was trying to find Marvin Jones that time. And it'll bring up 3rd down. They'll run it now out of the gun. There's the flash of Abdullah. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory. And just like that, on we head to half number 2. So we're at halftime here in the annual Thanksgiving game in Detroit. That'll be taken in the end zone. And some room to maneuver. And he's free going down the left side. It's a foot race. Touchdown, Detroit. In for the score. And the Lions add on to their lead.
And talk about taking words and bringing them to life. At halftime, I will guarantee you in their locker room, they talked about pressing the kicking game because you can get an advantage if you do it right, and they just did.
Extra point good by Prater. And that stretches the lead all the way up to 27. So let's try this again. After the kick return TD, here's yet another kickoff. That's fielded in the end zone. And he'll wind up getting an extra couple yards here for his trouble as he'll bring this one out to the 27. So here are the Bears now as they get set for their first possession of the second half. They come out here with a 0 on the scoreboard. What was said in that locker room? That's what I want to know.
I would love to have been in there because we often have the feeling that there's a lot of shouting, screaming, people upset. But typically, halftime locker rooms are a lot more clinical than that. And in this case, are they upset that the plays weren't working because of execution? Or did they think they were just bad plays to call?
Yeah.
We'll find out pretty quickly here if they feel like they had something going, but they just need to do it a little bit better or not.
We'll find out. They go with Howard again. And nothing doing. He's immediately taken down at the line of scrimmage. He was brought down by Devon Kennard.
Perfectly designed blitz right there. They took that one from the grease board to the field because they were able to free up their linebacker to get into the backfield and spill the play.
The Bears on 3rd down. Just 1 for 3 thus far. This is 3rd and 8. A give to Howard. Not much room here as he only gets it to about the 30. Just a yard on the run there, and that's going to bring us to a 4th down.
Partner, that's another short run there, and I think the easy thing is to look at them right now and say, let's get away from them entirely. Let's start throwing the football, but I don't think you ever entirely abandon the run. It helps set a tone for the game for you, keeps your offensive linemen feeling good about themselves, and it actually tamps down a defense's pressure because if you just throw it all the time, it's going to tee off with the pass rush.
They'll hand it off now. Johnson looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Officially no gain on the play, and it's second down. The rush defense stout on first down. Here's 2nd and 10 from the 20.
Here we go now. Blue 90. Blue 90.
On second down, Johnson. And he's able to get this one down to about the 40. It'll be a pickup of 5, and that leaves him with 5 more. 3rd and 5 now.
Third quarter, and you've got the lead. You're not ready to go into that 4-minute offense to close the game out, but a running game can really benefit your team right now.
On 3rd down, Johnson. And he'll get inside the 40 to maybe the 38-yard line. 2 yards on the pickup there. It's 4th down.
But we just saw a great example of what we talked about with his coach prior to the game. He's definitely one of the better linebackers at reading a play and flowing to make the stop before it turns into something big.
Now it's Matt Prater on for the Lion field goal try. This officially a 55-yard attempt. And he has got it from 55 yards away. That was never in doubt. These kickers now, it's like we take them for granted. Kicks like that used to be such a big deal, and now you just expect them to make it.
Yeah, you're exactly right, and we shouldn't take them for granted. But I have a theory about it. You want to hear it?
Yep.
They are more athletic now than ever before. Talk about kickers. Trace their backgrounds, trace their histories. You'll find that they were big-time athletes all along, but their kicking was so prevalent that we made them specialists.
Well, and now those 50-plus yarders seem easy for some reason. Here's the Chicago offense coming back out onto the field. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. And call more of that.
Play clock down to 0, and this is not the way to start a drive. And the offensive penalty has us back where we started as they come up on a 1st and 10. On 1st and 10, Huber. Oh, he dropped it. And that's pretty indicative of the way this one's gone.
Anytime a defense can sit back in a zone like that, it tends to create a lot of congestion in the middle of the field. Makes it very hard to slot one in.
Looked like I-4 at rush hour in your hometown of Orlando, Florida. An absolute mess.
Hurry up, here we go. Green 39.
Back to the air on 2nd down. Huber going to throw right side here, complete. And able to rip off a big chunk of yardage before being dropped inside the 40. They give him a gain of 38.
There will always be a place for methodically marching the ball downfield. But when you can pick it up in big chunks and strike like that, have explosive plays, that's often the difference in winning and losing. Those types of plays that can knock a defense off balance, that'll drive a team towards a victory.
So how about that for a chain mover? They're all the way down inside the 40 now for 1st and 10. This is Cohen. And he stopped immediately there. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down. Off the corner. Where'd he come from? Well, I guess he came off the corner, but really nice play.
I like when you're able to pose a question and answer it at the same time. That's exactly where he came from, but it's not something that you normally see. Most of the time, we're thinking about those guys covering pass catchers. In this case, he was a big factor in the run game. No gain.
They're going to go with a tight end here on the running play. And he'll be stopped up quickly here at the 38. 1 yard, the official pickup there, so it's going to set up 3rd and 9.
Lucky 56.
From the gun, Huber. He'll rifle this one deep. And now here is another interception. Darius Slay with a pick. And he's going to get this one to the 23-yard line. Yet another interception, and I just had to double-check my math. But it is now 8 between last week and this week.
Well, I just used a calculator. I didn't worry about double-checking it. But the thing that always throws me when you see quarterbacks in this type of a bad spot, they're trying to figure out what they can do to change it, and sometimes they try too hard, and they never get out of it. And that's where he is right now. He's just locked in a really bad way.
And they'll start the drive on the ground with Johnson. Takes this to the 27. Give him 4 yards.
In my book, that's running the ball well, but with intelligence. How about him keeping the clock moving, staying in bounds?
Yeah, even though it's the 3rd quarter, you're thinking ahead, aren't you? This is where your running game can really help you with a lead in the 2nd half.
I agree totally. It's not just end-of-the-half situations that you worry about the clock. It's throughout the game. And with a lead, stay in bounds. Make them fight harder to try and catch you.
Again, it's Johnson. And they'll bring him down after just a short pickup. Tackle was made by Joel Iyiegbuniwe.
I know the scouting report on him is that he doesn't possess the eye discipline to be an elite linebacker. And what that means is his ability to read, react, and make a play. But on that one, he looked like one of those guys.
The Lions on 3rd down. They've hit 2 for 4 thus far. This is 3rd and 4.
Lucky 56.
He didn't even try to signal for a timeout, so they must have not been aware of the numbers.
I think he lost track of the time left in the play clock and probably was trying to read the defense and try to figure out which play to run and just lost track, and it cost him.
Instead of a 3rd and 4, now they have to manage a 3rd and 9 after the delay of game. Looking to throw. Blankenship. Screenplay. Johnson. 17 yards on the pickup there and also a 1st down.
Let's give a little credit there. The offensive play caller sensed that the screen pass was available. Whenever you're getting a lot of heavy pressure towards your foot.
Back now at Ford Field. It's the Lions holding onto the football, and they also have the lead as we start quarter number 4. They pitch to Abdullah. And he takes it past the 45 and down at the 46. Give him 5 on the carry there, and it'll be 2nd down.
Bottom line, they want to keep this clock rolling, so they'll take that one right there. They just want to keep falling forward, and they want to put the onus on the big fellas up front in order to bring this one home.
A 2nd down run for Abdullah. And he'll be brought down at the 50 after a gain of about 5. Pretty good job defensively. Thought he was going to get it, but they knew where that marker was, and they stopped him just short of it.
What it does is emphasize that strategic football and situational football is not just played on the offensive side, is it? Defense understanding, as you noted, where the first down marker was and making sure they didn't get there.
They'll run here. Abdullah. And he is going to lose yardage here. A loss of a yard, and it brings up fourth. This late in the game, Charles, I think you maybe seriously have to think about going for it.
Especially where they are in terms of field position, because this is almost like no man's land. Might hurt your punter because there might not be enough space, maybe too far for your field goal kicker. I'm like the old rule. Possession is 9/10 of the law. Possession is 9/10 of winning the game. Go for it. Get the first down. Close it out.
The Bears offense now heading back out onto the field. And there are parts of their last drive they'd like to emulate. And, of course, they'd like to forget the inning, the interception. But they did put together, Charles, a nice sustained drive to get him down the field.
Yeah, and unfortunately for them, the only thing that matters is part two, right? Because once they threw the interception and finished off the drive, that does them no good to go back and say, well, you know, we had a good one going. Finish things off. That's the only way you can get it done.
4 down, 4 down. All right, here we go. Blue 90. Blue 90.
They go with Howard to begin the drive. And he'll get only a couple up to the 22. He has just been completely taken out of this game. We're in the fourth quarter. He's single digits in the rushing department.
And I know we look at him because the numbers do go to his production. But how about the guys blocking for him? They don't just have his number as a ball carrier. They've got the number of the offensive line and the other guys because they're getting to him before he can get started.
This is Cohen on the toss. And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. He lost 4 there, and it's third down.
And that's another stop for the defense, something we've seen all game long. They have been on fire today. No matter what's called by the offense, they've had an answer for it.
The Bears on third down, just 1 for 5 to this point. This is third down and 12. Back to throw. Huber. And my goodness, another interception. Darius Slay with a pick. And his guys will take over at the 30-yard line. And give him now 4 interceptions in this game. That's only the third time this has been done since the year 2000.
I think that tells you how much better teams have gotten at throwing the football. Because if you go all the way back to 1960, 12 times before that, there have been guys who've gotten 4 interceptions or more in a game. I mean, most recently, since 2000, Delta O'Neal and D'Angelo Hall.
So first and 10 now from the 30. Now a handoff. Johnson. And he'll take this inside the 30 to about the 29, maybe the 28-yard line. Danny Trevathan there to bring him down.
He continues to struggle to find a crease to break off a big one and might need to just put that aside and just try and ram his way forward and get what he can.
And an alley to run. 23 yards on the pickup there and a first.
Do my eyes deceive me, or is he getting stronger as this game moves along?
Burst seems just as good here in the fourth as it was way back in the first, doesn't it?
I do believe someone put a lot of time in the offseason and continues to condition during the season in order to continue to carry the ball at this rate.
They'll try and run. This is Johnson. And he's going to take it in for a Lion touchdown. Kerryon Johnson, his 9th touchdown of the season. And the Lions use the short field to their advantage as they cash in for 6. Prater for the extra point, and that will extend this big lead. Here's Prater now set to kick it away. This is fielded a couple yards deep. And a nice return sets him up pretty good here at the 30-yard line. And now Chicago getting ready to go as they take the field. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah, let's get back on track here. And sometimes that'll work just fine.
I guess it's time now to lean on that leadership. First down. Huber, the screen pass here to Cohen. And they take him down, losing yardage back at the 27. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's second down.
Well, that was a simple throw and catch, but even with that completion, 0 yards gained, so they're behind schedule on down and distance.
I think they were hoping to get it to him. He could make a man or two miss, but that window closed quickly. The loss of 3 on that first down pass play, now 2nd and 13. Operating from the gun, Huber. On the left side, a catch by White. And he'll get to the 29-yard line, brought down there. That throw good for only a couple. It brings up 3rd down. One thing I think that's safe to say defensively, the tackling's been really good.
And because of that, it's been very, very hard for them to move the ball because you're not getting the benefits of run after catch. They're tackling them almost on the spot. That means you have to run extra plays, harder to move it.
The Bears on 3rd down. They've had their troubles, just 1 for 6. This is 3rd and 11. Time for a break. This one, all over but the shouting. We'll finish it after this. They had the catch on 2nd down, but it didn't help at all, and now they're looking at 3rd down here.
Hurry up, here we go.
They'll run it now out of the gun. And he's going to lose yards. They take him down at the 26. It's a loss of a full 3 yards, and it brings up 4th down. And they're indeed going to go for it here on 4th down. So trailing here in the last quarter, let's see how this plays out.
Hurry up, here we go. 3-19. 3-19.
Got to try it here. He's back to throw. And now here's another interception. Picked off by Eric Rowe. And the return here is stopped at the 35-yard line. Gosh, you add up last week and this week now. That's 9 interceptions in this 2-game stretch, and we're not done here.
It's almost as if they can't even believe their eyes. Or maybe, partner, is the confidence level in him so high that they believe he'll get out of it and make plays for them to win a game.
Well, they've said they believe in him. That's being tested right here. A handoff to Abdullah. 8 yards on the pickup, and now they'll have some options on 2nd and short. Well, they'll take that every time with a lead, 1st down, 4th quarter, getting 8 yards. You love that.
They will take it, and you have to ask the defensive guys, why did you give it? I mean, you know the situation. You're down, have to stop them, have to get the football back, but 8 yards on 1st down puts them back on their heels.
They go with Abdullah again. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. It'll be a loss of a yard, and it'll be 3rd down.
Detroit! Detroit! Hot!
Defense still with 3 timeouts. We'll see if they want to use them here as the kneel down comes. The storyline in this one, Charles, no doubt the number 0. Zilch, nada. A shutout so hard to do in the NFL.
It really is, and what an accomplishment, because you feel that not just on the defensive side, but as a full team. There's a lot of pride that goes into shutting out an opponent. And how about that 0 on the scoreboard for them, going along with those zeros in the time column too.
So for the Lions, their playoff chances take an uptick as they move to 7-4. And they'll get a few extra days to get ready for next week where they take on the Los Angeles Chargers. Meanwhile, for Chicago,